Hello and welcome back to What's Your History, the podcast that covers all areas of history, heritage and archaeology, no matter how big or how small, how well known or how niche. Today's guest was Oliver Summerscale, and he spoke to me about a paleontologist, a Hungarian paleontologist called Franz Nopcsa, and I hope you enjoy this episode. Just to let you know, we did have some technical issues by the end of the episode, so it may be a little bit quieter. Other than that, I still hope you enjoy the episode.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
So, what is it you're going to be sharing with me today about paleontology? You said earlier that it was a surprise.
Yes, it's a surprise because here's the thing: paleontology is a science, which you probably already know,
Yes.
and everyone listening to this will probably already know. It doesn't come under history, so I wanted to keep it, topical for your podcast. So I thought, how the hell do I do that? And I decided to bring up the life story of one very influential paleontologist.
So, this paleontologist is not Mary Annings, though.
This is not Mary Anning. No. Anybody who was looking forward to that and who was already guessing that. But this story is going to be far weirder. This is the bizarre, insane, kind of impressive and very questionable life of one, and I'm probably going to butcher this pronunciation, but Baron Franz Nopcsa von Felso Silvas, or just Baron Franz Nopcsa for now.
That sounds like a bit of a foreign name. Whereabouts is he from?
So he was born to a Hungarian noble family that lived in Transylvania in 1877. They had an estate in Transylvania in what's now called the Hattig Basin, and nowadays it's famously rich for its abundance of late Cretaceous dinosaur fossils, but they didn't know that at the time until Franz. Can we just call him Franz?
Yes, we can do that.
Yes, let's just call him Franz. I feel like that'll be funnier as well. But anyway. See, this is something you're going to realize. Yes, most paleontologists are as weird as this guy. So, here we go.
Oh dear.
Right, so the story goes, when he was 18, his younger sister discovered dinosaur remains at their family estate. And he took them to the University of Vienna. The professors there told him that he should study them and make it kind of his life career. So he did. And he enrolled at Vienna University studying geology and paleontology. So he actually became quite a prolific thinker at the university in the geology and paleontology department, because he was suggesting ideas about dinosaurs that were crazy people talk for the time.
Why? What sort of things was he suggesting?
He was suggesting that they are, they were warm-blooded, that they had complex behavior, and that they cared for their young. Anybody listening who has some dinosaur knowledge is probably thinking, wait a minute, that's what we think about dinosaurs now. And yes, that's true. He was a pioneer almost 100 years before anybody else, and everyone called him stupid and crazy.
Well, that's because if you have a different idea, people tend to think that you're crazy. But what made him think that they were warm-blooded and stuff? What showed to make him think that?
I'm not too entirely sure. I think it's probably partly shooting ideas at the sky, just that kind of thing. So he also became kind of famous because he discovered a series of small dinosaurs back at his family estate. And he came up with the concept of what's island isolation induced dwarfism, which is a concept from paleontology where we've discovered outcrops of dinosaur fossils that are all tiny versions of what their relatives are, giant animals. And that is because they were isolated on tiny islands. And so nature had its way where only the tiny ones that consumed less energy were able to survive and thrive on these islands.
Is that the same thing with the hobbits? I know it's not your field. I know you don't do archaeology, but is it the same sort of concept with hobbits?
You're going to have to clarify for me.
So not Lord of the Rings. So basically, there is an island. I'm not too sure where they found the remains of quite small humans, and they said that they were hobbits, but they found out like all the animals were quite big, but the people were small, sort of thing.
Yeah, probably. So, he's achieving all of this in the world of paleontology, right? Around the same time, now you're going to see why this man is quite the character. The same time that he was doing this, he developed an obsession with the nation of Albania. That is because he traveled there a lot and he learned their language, became enamored by their culture, and he was also very interested in Albania's struggle for independence from the Ottoman Empire. He kind of had this, in tons of films, the plot is the hero goes to downtrodden culture, becomes enamored, and becomes one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, he basically had that.
Oh, so
But
he was like
for
going.
Albania,
Oh, so was he going with like you've wronged us, even though he was not originally from there?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Worth also mentioning a very rare thing for the late 1800s and early 1900s. He was an openly gay man, and he formed a relationship with his personal secretary, who was an Albanian fellow. His name was, and I'm sorry, I'm probably going to butcher this name as well, Bajazid Elmas Doda. Probably said that wrong, but anyway, he was his partner for life.
Oh, that's cool.
After that, yeah. So he actively supported, we're going back to Franz, he actively supported Albanian nationalism by, keep in mind, this is a paleontology student, by smuggling weapons, mapping the regions, and studying different tribes of the Albanian people. For some crazy reason, after the Ottoman Empire collapsed in the early 1910s, he suggested to leaders of the Albanians that he himself should become the new Albanian king.
Well, what?
The new king of an independent Albania.
If they're independent, I'm assuming they don't want a monarch.
I mean, well, potentially. Potentially, that's the reason. There's also other reasons why he was accepted. He wasn't accepted. Sorry. For one, being an openly gay. No,
That's been a big no-no for a rather long time.
Been a big no-no for quite a long time, unfortunately. But also, kind of just his sheer eccentric reputation, kind of gave some people a bit of the ick in terms of a potential new leader. He wasn't even Albanian as well. So.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I don't know. I suppose when you're in the throes of things and you're trying to have a revolution, then someone smuggling weaponry, I suppose you're not going to really bat an eyelid at. But
yes.
Is it that was kind of like a
Yeah. Bit weird. Coming from an aristocratic family from the Austria-Hungarian Empire, wants to be the new king of an independent country that he's not even. Yeah, anyway, but I'll let that speak for itself. So we move on to the First World War. He was a spy and geologist for the Austro-Hungarian Empire. And
Well, that's really going to ruin his chances of being king.
that really ruined his chances, yes. I mean, he was rejected before then, but nonetheless. And during the war, he became the first ever person to hijack a plane.
So, not only is he wanting to be king, he's now turning into James Bond.
Yes, he is, yes. I believe it was to escape some enemies that were chasing him. But yes, he became the first ever person to steal a plane. On top of all of this stuff that he's already doing in life.
In all fairness, all this stuff is just making him sound like a really, really interesting guy. Where's the digging up dinosaurs in the process of this? Is it like the Indiana Jones films where he doesn't actually do archaeology?
So, that does come in. He does go back to such a thing. So, after the war, his family start losing a lot of their wealth. And in the scientific community, he wasn't being taken very seriously, despite being leagues ahead of his time. So he and his partner made money by traveling across Europe on a single motorcycle, collecting fossils and selling them around, but mostly to the London Natural History Museum. But in 1933, he made a very tragic decision. This is probably going to explain a lot to you, but possibly influenced by diagnosed bipolar disorder and depression.
Right.
He took his own life and that of his long-term partner by shooting him in the head because he planned on taking his own life and thought that it would ruin his own partner's life and he didn't want to put him through that, so he killed him first. And that was the tragic, weird, strange story of Franz Nopcsa, a revolutionary paleontologist and plane hijacking Albanian separatist spy aristocrat. There you go.
That is a lot of hats to wear.
Mm-hmm.
So, was his partner actually his partner, or was he somebody who he kind of forced to be his partner sort of thing? Because this whole killing your partner before yourself is making me wonder, did this person stay with this guy because he genuinely loved him and cared about him, or because he had no choice?
Oh, this was definitely a mutual relationship. For them to be openly gay at that time, that would it would just be a very, very strange dynamic for it to be on top of that, to be a kind of forced thing. But yeah, they were definitely together because they loved each other.
There. So, what did you say his first thing was that he found?
So the first thing that took him to Vienna University was fossils that his younger sister actually found when he was 18 years old in their family's estate. Unfortunately, in doing my research of all things, I didn't peg down which species he found. But yeah, that's from the Hateg Basin in Transylvania, now famous for a late Cretaceous abundance of dinosaur remains. Small ones as well.
And as you said as well, his ideas were revolutionary for us, but were seen as crazy at the time. So, what was it like what was the landscape like to be a Victorian paleontologist at this point, or to more accurately, I should say, what, Edwardian?
Yeah, that kind of era.
What was the kind of landscape there? Why were
Well,
people thinking it was a bit out there?
So when paleontology as a field first came about, it faced a lot of backlash because it came with the adage that we are accepting that evolution is the correct way of thinking, as opposed to creation. I mean, just look at the life of Darwin. But it also, funnily, became quite a trend for a lot of upper class Victorian gentlemen, even some upper class Victorian women. Uh, so much so that there was one point when everybody wanted to find the next dinosaur, and sometimes discoveries. And for everyone listening, I'm making bunny fingers right now.
Quote
Is
unquote.
quote unquote were sometimes tons of fakes of remains of modern animals or fossils discovered, but just meshed together and presented as something new. So the world of paleontology was in its early years and already got a rocky start.
Not surprising as they're working with rocks.
Yeah, and you seem to have missed my pun there.
Yeah.
Rocky start.
Yes, I got it.
Oh, okay, never mind.
So it's already in its infancy. People are questioning it. And then this guy comes on and goes, "Hey, these lizard things we found, I think they had warm blood."
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So was he part of any societies at that time as well?
Ooh, I'm not aware of that, no. To be honest, probably, yes. I mean, he was an upper class aristocrat, so yes, he would have been. And he was able to enroll at Vienna University with practically no challenge at all. So connections were probably out the. Yeah.
Yeah. So is there no?
I was going to say ass then, but I elected not to.
So is it? So did he not ever come over to Britain or anything and interact with the paleontologists that were here, go into those kind of circles, right? Do you know?
Well, yeah, he did sell a lot of his finds to the London Natural History Museum. So he would have had a lot of interaction with the British paleontological field in that regard. Other than that, though, I'm not aware. I didn't come across anything regarding British universities or any famous British paleontologists that he interacted with specifically. I may be wrong, but yeah.
And what is it about this field that made you want to look into him in particular?
Well, it was more or less just an accident. My brother accidentally found out about him once and started looking into his life, and then I did the same, and I was just enamored, bemused, kind of impressed with all the insane stuff that he got up to, whilst also on top of this being an astute paleontologist that we respect to this day.
Did he find any dinosaurs in Albania while he was there?
In Albania, now he definitely did do some geological mapping in Albania. In terms of paleontological finds, I'm not entirely sure.
Well, he sounds like a really fascinating guy, and I'm assuming I've probably seen some of the donations he's given to the National History Museum. Have you seen any of the stuff that he's donated?
No, not at least that I'm aware of, because I only found out about this man recently. So I definitely do want to go back to the Natural History Museum, see if anything that he's donated is put on display currently. But we'll see.
And is there any other people that you have been gravitating towards in this field? Like maybe your top three or something?
This is kind of showing how eccentric paleontologists actually are. But so there is an event that I was thinking of being the main part of this podcast. I would need to do some more research and come back to it. Maybe Oliver episode 2 Electric Boogaloo. But this was a rivalry between two gentlemen in the US during the 1800s when the field was emerging and getting popular. A rivalry that got violent in instances and got extremely petty to the point where it's incredibly funny. And this is called the Bone Wars. So, maybe I'll tell you about that next time.
Definitely be interested.
Yeah.
I definitely know that America is one of the best places for a lot of dinosaur stuff. They just seem to have, I think in Texas itself, it's just like, I think it's Texas, I could be wrong, but I know there's just like, it's like a dinosaur graveyard. You can just find bones everywhere.
Yeah, you're probably thinking of Utah, the Badlands, or maybe Arizona, is where a lot of dinosaur outcrops. Yeah, America's where you got your famous T-Rex and Triceratops and all the favorite Jurassic Park animals, basically. But nowadays, it's really the big frontier of paleontology, at least when it comes to the realm of dinosaur discovery. It's actually in China. Yes, Chinese paleontologists are making discoveries very frequently nowadays.
That's really cool as well. Oh, well, thank you for sharing this story.
You're welcome.
Sounds like a very interesting person. Paleontologist meets James Bond, so basically like Indiana Jones, just paleontology rather than quote-unquote archaeology.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you would like to say about this field or this gentleman?
Just that if anybody's ever wondering like what got me into being a paleontologist, won't lie, it was the fact that I loved dinosaurs and prehistoric mammals when I was a little kid, and that's one of the few things that I just never got out of when I grew up. So it's for that reason.
That's fair. What's your favourite dinosaur?
That's an incredibly hard question to answer, but because it's a very fleeting one usually. But currently, just because of how fascinating it is, that would be the Spinosaurus.
Why?
Because it's massive, it's aquatic, it's there's so much mystery behind it. It's an incredible animal, really.
Fair enough. And what would you say to anybody who's maybe wanting to try and get into this field?
Ooh, good question. I would say first of all, you're going to want to cut out the notion that there's specific jobs going out there for dinosaurologists. There is not. This is a build your career from your own potential kind of thing. Keep that in mind before you head into anything. Not to put anybody off, but that could hopefully give you a mental map into what you want to do.
And is the world of paleontology like Jurassic Park? How historical is that documentary?
That is 100% accurate.
Yeah, you can totally get the DNA of a frog and make dinosaurs. Totally a thing.
Yeah, especially Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. That's incredibly scientifically accurate.
If anybody wasn't picking up on that, we are being sarcastic. Well, thank you, Oliver, for talking with me today.
You're very welcome.
And I do hope to one day have you back on this podcast and find out what you've been up to.
Yeah, that would be wonderful. And I appreciate the free coffee as well. So.
That's fine. Do you want people to be able to find you and where they can find you if you want?
Well, I'm just down as Oliver Summerscales on my Instagram, and that's basically it. But on my personal life account, if anybody wants to follow me on that, but that's basically it.
Good stuff. Thank you again.
Thank you.